What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to From the Crypt. Franchise Wednesday is today. And we are finishing up the Phantasm series. Franchise is what I meant to say there. It's been a long one. Phantasm Ravager was directed by David Hartman and was released back in 2016. Now, I'm talking spoilers, so let's just get right into it. Super quick plot synopsis. Reggie searches for Mike as they try to stop the tall man once and for all. Who is in this movie? We've got Reggie Bannister as Reggie, A. Michael Baldwin as Mike, Bill Thornberry as Jody, and Angus Scrimm, R.I.P., as the tall man. We've got everybody back from the original. So, what's good? That everybody is back. There was no recasting again, so knocked it out of the park with that one, guys. You could definitely tell that this was a love letter to the fans. To finish what Oblivion left. I don't even want to say left us hanging. It did nothing. I don't know. Anyways, you could tell they wanted to make this movie to give the franchise its end. So there's never the possibility of, we need to finish that. No, it's already done, dealt with. The modified CUDA. This is the only instance in this franchise where you can get away from a different CUDA each movie because it made sense for this one. And you know what? It was totally bitchin'. It had machine guns on it and shit. Always awesome in my mind. Now, some of the ideas that they proposed in this movie were actually really interesting. But what's bad about Phantasm Ravager? Those interesting ideas were hindered by poor writing and some of the worst fucking CG I have ever seen. Oh my God. The CG is so bad in this movie. I understand that. Okay, I'm getting ahead of myself. Calm down. I kind of previously alluded to this. I believe it was in my Phantasm 2 review. Your family dying in a horrible fire would be something that stays with you and you don't forget and you mention it in times of importance, like when you're listing off everything that you have done. Not one mention of Reggie's family dying made it into this movie. And that made no fucking sense whatsoever. Because he even mentioned that he was an ice cream man. Ice cream man got put above family. Think about that. If I were going through this and I had to say, let's rewind it a year ago. I'm a fucking team lead at Walmart. And not mention the fact that I have a wife and kid. That'd be just absolutely stupid, and it is in this movie. But yeah, that was the next thing I had mentioned. Seriously had to mention his job as an ice cream man and not his family being blown up in an explosion. Dumb. Oh, back at the beginning of the movie, when Reggie gets the CUDA back from the guy that stole the CUDA. It's a different CUDA again. Different CUDA again. Continuity is the biggest issue with this franchise, and I partially cannot take it serious because of that. If your ducks aren't in a row, you're not going to put out a good finished product. Plain and simple. It is truly a shame that I got to say this as a negative, but the budget. They could not get the money for this movie, and believe me when I tell you, it shows. There are some sequences that look good. None of them have the CG in it, thank God. But other stuff where they're trying to do really cool stuff, if they had adequate funding, I could see it being cool. Like the car chase scene, for instance. As Reggie gets the CUDA back, and then the Sentinels are chasing him. That would have been a cool scene, because we hadn't done anything like that in the franchise. Except for the horrible CG that I've already mentioned. It ruins anything that they're in. And then that's not even counting like where they go to like the I can't remember what it's called, the dimension where all the people are being sent off, the red dimension, we'll just call it that. You can tell like that's all done in front of a green screen really shittily. And the filter that they have on, like, oh God, it's so bad. It was so disappointing. One thing I will say is that some parts of this movie legitimately looked like a cheap early 2000s music video when CG was just like, it looked like they used that. They're like, hey, let's take a page out of, I don't know, insert any metal or rock band that tried to make a groundbreaking music video in the early 2000s that looks like shit. Let's do Phantasm in that style. Let's do that. I don't even have this mentioned in the notes, but this movie left me more confused than any of the other movies because it tries to introduce the idea that, hey, Reggie's like, unfortunately, Alzheimer's and dementia is what they say in the movie. That's life imitates art. You don't know, like, is he fucking crazy? Like, it introduces so many different, like, I don't want to say plot points, but like different ways that the story could go, and then it keeps jumping back and forth between them, so you don't know what's what. Like, this movie was just so confusing, and I know I said that this was a love letter to the fans, but I don't know. A love letter written in crayon. Like, they had great intentions. I will definitely say that is obvious from watching the film and watching, like, the behind-the-scenes documentary, which I did watch. They wanted to make this movie for the fans, but they just, man, I can't give them an A for effort on this one. This was one of the worst movies I've seen, and I take no pleasure or pride in saying that. So let's move on to rewatch by review. Would I rewatch this? Absolutely not. This movie is bad. Would I buy it? As I stated in my last review, yes, unfortunately. I actually have 2 copies of this movie. Now I know why they were at Disc Replay when I bought them. What score would I give this movie? I'm going to give it a 2. They got a 2 out of 10 for their effort because the rest, oh God, dude, there's just so much wrong with this movie. I would still much rather watch this movie than the Borderlands movie, for sure. But, oh God, yeah, this movie is a mess, and it's just so unfortunate. You want to go out with a bang, not a wet fucking fart. And that is literally what Phantasm Ravager is. Sorry. But that will do it for Phantasm Ravager, guys. Make sure to comment your thoughts down below. Let's talk about it. Drop a like on the video if you enjoyed yourself. And consider subscribing to the channel if you have not. Next week, for Franchise Wednesday, we will be finishing it all up with a ranking. So if you guys have already pieced it together, I'm sure you can figure it out, but tune in. You never know. I might drop a curveball or something. Someone's like, what? But anyways, until next time, guys, have a good one.
From the crypt, his voice will rise.